I found the receipt in his glove compartment, white paper, folded in half. Vasectomy procedure. Patient, David Richardson. Date, March 15th, 2019. March 2019. 7 years ago. The year we started trying for a baby. The year he made sure we never would. My hands were shaking. I read it again. Vasectomy. 7 years ago. Before our first fertility appointment. Before my first IVF cycle. Before I spent $60,000. Before I blamed my body for 7 years. He knew. The whole time. He made sure I could never get pregnant. We'd been married 2 years when we started trying. I was 31. Let's have a baby, I said. I'd love that, he said. Month 6, still negative. I suggested seeing a doctor. Let's give it a year, David said. So I waited. Month 12, fertility specialist, Dr. Palmer. We'll test both of you. David came, smiled, held my hand. Whatever it takes, he said. My tests, all normal. Blood work, normal. Ultrasound, normal. AMH, excellent. You're very fertile, Dr. Palmer said. His semen analysis came back. Low sperm count, borderline. Conception might take longer. I looked at David. He looked devastated. I'm sorry, he said. This is my fault. It's nobody's fault, I said. That was a lie. The test was a lie. The sample was a lie. Everything was a lie. We tried naturally another year, negative every month. I tracked everything. Basal temperature, ovulation kits, timed intercourse. Year 3. I want to do IVF, I said. That's expensive, David said. I don't care. I want a baby. Okay, if that's what you want. Not we, just me. First IVF cycle, $18,000, daily injections, bruises across my stomach. 21 eggs retrieved, 8 blastocysts, transferred 1. Grade AA, perfect. Beta test, negative. I cried for 3 days. We'll try again, David said. Liar. He knew we'd never succeed. Second cycle, third cycle, fourth cycle. $60,000 total. Nothing. Maybe it's not meant to be, David said. What? Maybe we should accept we're not having kids. I'm not giving up. Maybe the universe is telling us something. The universe! He was preventing it for 7 years. I found the receipt 3 weeks ago. David had a car accident. Minor fender bender, airbag deployed. Get my insurance card from the glove compartment, he asked. I opened it, insurance card on top. Underneath, a folded paper. I don't know why I opened it. Curiosity. But I did. Vasectomy procedure completed. Patient, David Richardson. Date, March 15th, 2019. Bilateral vasectomy performed successfully. Patient confirmed no desire for future children. March 2019. We married January 2019. Started trying March 2019. Same month he got a vasectomy. I sat in the car, staring at the paper. He planned this before we started trying. Made sure I could never get pregnant. Let me blame myself. Let me inject hormones. Let me spend our savings. Let me think I was broken. When he came home, I was at the kitchen table, receipt in front of me. What's that? He asked. I slid it across, watched his face go pale. Where did you find that? Where you asked me to look. He sat down, silent. When were you going to tell me? Silence. When? I wasn't, he said quietly. You weren't? No. Why? He looked at the floor. I never wanted kids. I thought if we tried and it didn't work, you'd give up. So you got a vasectomy? Yes. And let me do IVF? Yes. 4 times. I know. $60,000. I know. 7 years of my life. I'm sorry. Sorry wasn't enough. That was 3 weeks ago. What happened next changed everything. I filed for divorce the next morning. Didn't sleep. Couldn't. Just sat at the kitchen table staring at that receipt until sunrise. David slept in the guest room. Didn't try to talk to me. Didn't apologize again. Just went to bed like his entire world hadn't just imploded. Maybe it hadn't. Maybe he'd been waiting for this moment for 7 years. At 8 a.m., I called a lawyer. Jennifer Morrison, specialized in family law. I need a divorce, I told her. Okay. Can you tell me why? My husband got a vasectomy before we started trying for a baby. Let me do 4 IVF cycles. Spent $60,000. 7 years of my life. Silence on the other end. That's reproductive coercion, she said finally. And fraud. We can build a strong case. I don't want a case. I just want out. You're entitled to more than just out. He deceived you financially and emotionally. You deserve compensation. I thought about that. 7 years, 4 IVF cycles, $60,000, countless hours of appointments, injections, blood draws, ultrasounds, disappointments. What can I get? Everything. The house, alimony, reimbursement for IVF costs, emotional damages. Let's do it. We met the next day. Jennifer's office was downtown. Glass windows overlooking the city. Professional. Clean. She had the divorce papers ready. Sign here. And here. Initial here. I signed. Didn't hesitate. Didn't cry. Just signed. We'll serve him tomorrow, Jennifer said. Do you want to be there? No. I don't want to see him. Understood. David was served at work. His secretary called me. Mrs. Richardson? Mr. Richardson asked me to call you. He wants to talk. Tell him to talk to my lawyer. I hung up. He called 17 times that day. I didn't answer. Blocked his number, changed the locks, moved his stuff to the garage. Done. The divorce took 8 months. David fought it at first, claimed I was overreacting, that we could work it out. His lawyer sent letters. Mr. Richardson is willing to attend counseling. Mr. Richardson wants to discuss reconciliation. Mr. Richardson believes this is salvageable. Jennifer replied to each one. Mrs. Richardson is not interested in reconciliation. Mr. Richardson committed fraud and reproductive coercion. We're prepared to file a civil suit if necessary. That shut him up. We went to mediation, sat across from each other in a conference room. First time I'd seen him in 3 months. He looked thinner, tired, good. Sarah, can we talk? He said. No. The mediator cleared his throat. Let's focus on the settlement. Mr. Richardson, your wife is requesting the house, alimony for 5 years, and reimbursement for IVF costs totaling $63,000. $63,000? David said, including medications, procedures, and travel costs. Jennifer said, that's insane. What's insane is getting a vasectomy and letting your wife spend that money on treatments you knew would fail. David's lawyer shifted uncomfortably. My client disputes the characterization of events. Does your client dispute the vasectomy? Jennifer asked. Silence. Exactly. We have the medical records, dated March 15th, 2019, before they started trying. This isn't a gray area. More silence. The mediator spoke. Mr. Richardson, I recommend you accept the terms. If this goes to court, the judgment will likely be harsher. David looked at me. I looked back. No emotion, no sympathy, nothing. Fine, he said. She can have it all. We signed the settlement that day. I got the house. 5 years of alimony, $63,000 reimbursement, and my freedom. The divorce was finalized 2 weeks later. I was 38 years old, single, no kids, but finally free. I spent the first month just existing. Didn't make plans. Didn't think about the future. Just breathed. Rachel came over every weekend, brought wine, ordered takeout. Let me vent. He's a monster, she said. He's a coward. Same thing. No. Monsters know they're monsters. Cowards lie to themselves. You're giving him too much credit. Maybe I was. But I needed to understand. Needed to make sense of how someone could do this. Live a lie for 7 years. Watch me suffer. And feel Nothing. I called Dr. Palmer. My fertility doctor. I need to know something, I said. Of course. What is it? The semen sample David provided. How do I know it was his? Pause. We don't verify identity. We assume couples are honest. So he could have used someone else's sample. Technically, yes. Though that would be highly unusual. But possible. Yes. I hung up. Called Jennifer. Can we get David's medical records? His actual medical records. Not just the vasectomy. Everything. I can subpoena them. Why? I want to know if he ever reversed it. If he's still sterile. Why does that matter? Because I want to know if he's capable of having kids now. If he's moved on. If some other woman is going through what I went through. Jennifer was quiet. I'll get the records. They arrived 2 weeks later. Vasectomy performed March 15th, 2019. No reversal. Still sterile. He couldn't have biological children unless he reversed it privately. Paid cash. Hid it. But the records showed nothing. I felt a strange relief. He was stuck with his choice. Permanently. Good. 6 months after the divorce, I started therapy. Dr. Chen, same therapist from before. I'm angry, I told her in our first session. That's valid. I'm angry that I wasted 7 years. Angry that I blamed myself. Angry that he's just living his life while I'm picking up pieces. Is he living his life? I don't know. I don't follow him. Don't care. Are you sure you don't care? I thought about it. I care that he doesn't face consequences. That's what makes me angry. I lost 7 years. He lost a marriage he didn't want anyway. So you want justice. I want him to hurt like I hurt. And if that doesn't happen, then I'm stuck with this anger forever. Not forever. Anger fades when you stop feeding it. How do I stop? By building something he can't touch. Something that's entirely yours. I thought about that for days. What did I want that was entirely mine? A baby. Still. After everything, I still wanted to be a mother. Not with him, not with anyone, just me. I called Dr. Palmer again. I want to do IVF solo, using donor sperm. Absolutely. When would you like to start? As soon as possible. We started the process in November, 7 months after the divorce. Blood work first. AMH level. Antral follicle count. Everything. Results came back good. Your ovarian reserve is still strong, Dr. Palmer said. Age 38 is well within range for success. What are my chances? With your numbers? 40 to 45% per cycle. Better than I expected. I picked a donor. Spent weeks looking at profiles. Finally chose donor 9427. Software engineer. 6'2". Brown hair, blue eyes. Played violin. Donated to help families. Profile said he had a daughter of his own. That felt important. He was already a father. Knew what he was giving. The cycle started in January. Birth control pills first, to regulate my cycle. Then stims. Gonalef and Menopur. Same as before, but different. This time, I wasn't doing it for us. I was doing it for me. No pressure from a partner. No wondering if this would save a marriage. Just me wanting to be a mother. Retrieval was scheduled for late January. I went alone. Rachel offered to come. I'm okay, I told her. I need to do this myself. She understood. They retrieved 19 eggs. 16 were mature. 13 fertilized with donor sperm. 9 made it to day 5. Excellent results, Dr. Palmer said. Ready to transfer? Yes. We transferred 1 embryo. Grade 4AA blastocyst. Perfect quality. I watched on the ultrasound as they released it. My potential child inside me. Finally. The 2-week wait was excruciating. Worse than any previous wait, because this time, it was all on me. No partner to share the anxiety. No one to hold at 3 a.m. when I couldn't sleep. Just me. Rachel texted every day. How are you feeling? Symptom spotting like crazy. That's normal. I know. But I can't help it. You're going to be a great mom. If it works, it'll work. Day 9. I couldn't wait. Took a home pregnancy test. 6 a.m. Peed on the stick. Set it on the counter. Walked out. 3 minutes. Timer went off. I walked back in. Picked it up. 2 lines. Faint. But there. I took 3 more tests. All positive. Called Rachel. I'm pregnant. Screaming. Actual screaming. Oh my God. Sarah, are you sure? 4 tests. All positive. I'm coming over. She arrived 20 minutes later. We cried together. Happy tears this time. Beta day was 2 days later. Blood draw at 8 a.m. Results at noon. I stared at my phone, waiting. Finally, it rang. Sarah, congratulations. Your beta is 212. You're very pregnant. Very pregnant. Those words, I'd waited 7 years to hear them. Second beta, 2 days later. 448. Perfect doubling. Week 6 ultrasound. 1 heartbeat. Strong. 128 beats per minute. I stared at that tiny flicker on the screen. My baby. Made from my choice, my strength. My refusal to let David's lies define my future. Started crying. Couldn't stop. Dr. Palmer handed me tissues. Congratulations, Mama. Mama. I was going to be a mom. The pregnancy was smooth, no complications. Morning sickness, weeks 6 through 12, but manageable. Week 12, genetic testing normal. Week 16, anatomy scan perfect. Week 20, gender reveal. It's a boy, the technician said. A son. I was having a son. Rachel threw me a baby shower at week 30. Small, just close friends. My mom flew in. My sister. We decorated in blue and white, played silly games, opened presents, tiny clothes, diapers, books, a crib. Everything I needed, everything I'd dreamed of. Have you picked a name? My mom asked. Ethan. Ethan James. That's beautiful. It means strong, firm. I want him to be strong. He will be. Look at his mother. Labor started at 39 weeks. Water broke at 3 a.m. on a Tuesday. Rachel drove me to the hospital, stayed with me through everything, held my hand during contractions, reminded me to breathe. You're doing amazing, she said. This hurts. I know, but you're so close. Ethan was born at 11:47 a.m. 7 pounds, 3 ounces, 20 inches long. Perfect. They placed him on my chest. He opened his eyes, looked right at me. Hi, baby boy, I whispered. I'm your mama. I'm your whole world. And I was. Finally, after 7 years of trying, after betrayal, after divorce, after starting over, I was a mother. Ethan is 6 months old now, sleeping through the night, smiling when he sees me, laughing at silly faces. My entire world. Rachel comes over twice a week, helps with laundry, holds him while I shower. You're such a good mom, she says. I'm trying. You're doing more than trying. You're thriving. Maybe I am. It doesn't feel like thriving. It feels like survival, but good survival. The kind where you wake up grateful. I haven't heard from David since the divorce. Don't know where he is. Don't care. His choice to get that vasectomy is his burden now, not mine. I chose differently. Chose life. Chose motherhood. Chose myself. Last week, I saw Dr. Palmer for Ethan's 6-month checkup. How are you doing? She asked. Good. Really good. You look happy. I am. For the first time in years. You deserve it. Thank you. For everything. For not giving up on me. You never gave up on yourself. That's what mattered. Driving home, Ethan fell asleep in his car seat. I looked at him in the rearview mirror. Perfect little face. Peaceful. Safe. Loved. This is what I fought for. Not a marriage that was built on lies. Not a partner who pretended to want the same future. This. A child who is mine. Born from my determination. My choice. My refusal to let betrayal win. David took 7 years from me, but he didn't take my future. I rebuilt it. Alone. And it's better than anything I imagined when I was with him, because it's real, built on truth, not lies. Ethan will grow up knowing his story, that he was wanted, chosen, fought for, that his mother refused to give up, even when everything fell apart, even when the truth shattered her world, even when starting over seemed impossible. He'll know that strength isn't about having a partner, it's about having yourself. And I have myself now, fully, for the first time in 7 years. If your partner refuses fertility testing, that's a red flag. Visit www.theinfertilitysecrets.com to understand your cycle and demand answers from both partners. I spent 7 years trusting someone who was lying. Don't make my mistake. Demand transparency. Demand honesty. You deserve the truth. The first month after finding the receipt was the darkest. I moved through days like a ghost. Went to work, came home, stared at walls. Rachel came over every evening. You need to eat, she'd say. I'm not hungry. You need to eat anyway. She'd make simple things. Toast, soup, things I could manage. I'd take a few bites, push the rest away. Everything tasted like ash. My boss noticed. Sarah, are you okay? You seem distracted. I'm fine. Just dealing with some personal stuff. Do you need time off? No. Work helps. Work didn't help. but it filled hours, kept me from thinking too much, from replaying 7 years in my head. Every moment I'd trusted him. Every time he'd looked me in the eye and lied. The nights were worse. I'd lie in bed, stare at the ceiling, think about all the signs I'd missed. The way he never seemed disappointed when cycles failed. The way he'd suggest taking breaks from trying. The way he'd redirect conversations about adoption. Let's keep trying naturally, he'd say. Now I knew why. He didn't want kids at all. Not with me, not with anyone. The vasectomy proved it. Signed paperwork confirming no desire for future children. He'd made that choice before we even started trying. Let me hope for 7 years, knowing it was impossible. I kept going back to that question. Why? Why marry someone who wants kids if you don't? Why not just be honest? Why the elaborate deception? Dr. Chen had theories. Some people make life choices based on what they think they should want, not what they actually want, she said in one session. So he married me because he thought he should? Maybe. Or maybe he thought he could change his mind, that wanting kids would come naturally. But it didn't. No. So instead of being honest, he created a situation where you'd eventually give up. That's cruel. It's cowardly, which is often worse. I thought about that a lot. David wasn't malicious. Not really. He was just weak. Too weak to tell the truth. Too weak to face conflict. Too weak to end things honestly. So he let me suffer instead. Let me think my body was failing. Let me spend years in emotional agony because his comfort mattered more than my pain. That realization helped. Not forgiveness, but understanding. I wasn't dealing with a villain. I was dealing with a coward. And cowards don't deserve anger. They deserve pity. The divorce mediation was harder than I expected, not emotionally. Logistically, David's lawyer kept trying to negotiate down the settlement. $63,000 is excessive, he'd argue. Jennifer would counter. $63,000 is what Mrs. Richardson spent on fertility treatments Mr. Richardson knew would fail. That's fraud. My client didn't force her to do IVF. Your client lied about his fertility status, created a false narrative, wasted 7 years of her life, back and forth, for hours. Finally, the mediator intervened. Mr. Richardson, you're not going to win this. Accept the settlement or go to trial. Your choice. David looked at me. I looked back. What do you want, Sarah? He asked. First words he'd spoken directly to me in 3 months. I want you to admit what you did. I already admitted. No. You admitted you got a vasectomy. I want you to admit you lied, that you manipulated me, that you wasted 7 years of my life. Silence. His lawyer shifted uncomfortably. Sarah, say it. Out loud, in front of everyone. More silence. Then, quietly, I lied. I manipulated you. I wasted 7 years of your life. Why? Because I was scared of being a father, of the responsibility, of everything changing. So you made me think I was broken instead. Yes. And you watched me cry, month after month, year after year. Yes. And you felt nothing. Pause. I felt guilty, but not enough to stop. That admission hurt more than the vasectomy. Not enough to stop. He knew he was hurting me, and he chose his comfort anyway. I want the house, the alimony, the reimbursement, all of it, okay? And I never want to see you again, okay? We signed the papers that day. The divorce was finalized on a Tuesday in September, 7 months after I found the receipt. Exactly 7 years after we'd started trying for a baby. The symmetry felt intentional, like the universe closing a chapter. I celebrated with Rachel that night. Champagne on my back porch. How do you feel? She asked. Free. Really? Really. For the first time in 7 years, I don't have to wonder, don't have to hope, don't have to pretend. What are you going to do now? I don't know. Figure out who I am without him. You're Sarah. You've always been Sarah. No, I've been Sarah trying to become a mother. Sarah trying to save a marriage. Sarah trying to fix something that was never broken. And now? Now I'm just Sarah, and I get to decide what that means. It took months to figure that out. I started small, redecorated the house, painted the bedroom a color David hated. Deep teal, bold, mine. Threw out furniture we'd picked together, bought new pieces. A reading chair, bookshelves, plants. made the space mine, started running again, something I'd stopped during IVF. Too worried about jostling embryos, too scared to do anything that might interfere. Now I ran every morning, 5 miles, clearing my head, building strength, reconnected with friends I'd lost touch with, women I'd ghosted during fertility treatments because seeing their kids hurt too much. "I'm sorry I disappeared," I told Emma over coffee. "Don't apologize. I get it. Still, I should have been there. You were surviving. That's enough." We talked for 2 hours about her kids, my divorce, life. It felt normal, easy, good. I started saying yes to things. Weekend trips, concerts, dinners with colleagues, things I'd avoided during trying to conceive years. Too worried about missing ovulation windows, too depressed after failed cycles, too consumed by hope and disappointment. Now I said yes, and life expanded, became bigger than fertility, bigger than David, bigger than 7 wasted years. The decision to try again came slowly, not a sudden realization, a gradual understanding. I still wanted to be a mother. David's lies didn't change that. The failed IVF cycles didn't change that. 7 years didn't change that. It was still there, that pull toward motherhood, toward creating life, toward raising a human. But this time, it would be different. No partner to disappoint. No relationship to save. No one's timeline but mine. Just me. Choosing motherhood for myself. The first consultation with Dr. Palmer was different too. No husband sitting next to me. No pretending we were in this together. Just honest conversation. "I want to have a baby," I said. "Solo. On my terms." "I think that's wonderful. Do you think I'm crazy? After everything?" "No. I think you're brave. You know exactly what you want. That's powerful." "I'm scared." "That's normal. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm actually infertile and David was just an excuse?" "Your test results are excellent. Your previous cycles produced good embryos. Fertilization wasn't the issue. Implantation might have been stress-related." "You think stress from my marriage affected implantation?" "It's possible. Stress impacts everything. Hormone levels, immune response, uterine environment. So without David, I might actually succeed." Yes, that gave me hope. Real hope. Not hope based on lies. Hope based on science. On my body's proven ability to produce healthy eggs. On removing the source of stress. On doing this for the right reasons. Choosing a donor was emotional. I spent weeks reading profiles, looking at photos, reading personality questionnaires. Some men donated for money, others to help families. A few had personal connections to infertility. I kept coming back to donor 9427. Something about his profile resonated. "I'm donating because I have a daughter and understand the joy children bring. I want to help others experience that." He wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it because he valued fatherhood. That mattered. His medical history was clean. No genetic conditions. No concerning patterns. Education. Master's degree in computer science. Hobbies. Violin, hiking, reading. Physical description. 6'2", brown hair, blue eyes, athletic build. Not that looks mattered, but I liked knowing. I selected him, paid for 6 vials of sperm, enough for multiple attempts if needed. The clinic shipped them frozen, stored them in their facility, ready when I was. The cycle protocol was familiar, but felt different. Birth control pills to sync my cycle. Then stims, same medications as before. Gonal-F, Menopur. But this time, I wasn't dreading it, wasn't viewing it as punishment, just a process. Steps toward a goal, monitoring appointments every few days, blood draws, ultrasounds, watching follicles grow. "You're responding beautifully," the nurse said. "That's good?" "Very good. 18 follicles developing. Trigger shot, 10 days in. Retrieval scheduled for 36 hours later." I went alone, not because I had to, because I wanted to. This was my journey, my choice, my body. I wanted to own every moment. The procedure took 20 minutes. Twilight sedation. Didn't feel anything. Woke up in recovery. "We got 19 eggs," the embryologist said. "That's great. We'll call you tomorrow with fertilization results." I went home, rested, waited. The call came at 10 a.m. 13 embryos fertilized. We'll culture them to day 5. 13 potential babies, growing in petri dishes, half my genetics, half donor 9427s, waiting to see which ones would make it. Day 5 update. 9 blastocysts, high quality, ready to transfer. "When would you like to schedule transfer?" the nurse asked. As soon as possible. We scheduled for 3 days later. Transfer day was calm, no anxiety, just quiet determination. I drove myself to the clinic, changed into a gown, lay on the table, watched the ultrasound screen. The embryologist brought the catheter. This is your 4AA blastocyst. Perfect quality. I watched them load it, watched the doctor guide it through my cervix, watched the flash as they released it, my potential child, inside me, where it belonged. Rest for a few minutes, then you can go, the nurse said. I lay there, hands on my stomach, talking to the embryo silently. Stick around, little one. I want to meet you. The 2-week wait was different this time, less obsessive, less terrifying. I symptom spotted, but didn't spiral. Felt twinges and thought, maybe, but didn't let hope consume me. Day 9. I tested. Early morning. First urine. 2 lines appeared. Faint, but there. I tested again. Same result. And again. Still positive. I was pregnant. This time felt real. Different from the hope I'd felt with David. This was mine. My baby. My choice. My future. Beta day confirmed it. HCG 212. Excellent number, the nurse said. Second beta, 2 days later, 448. Perfect doubling. I let myself believe it. Let myself start imagining a baby, my baby, growing inside me. Week 6 ultrasound showed a heartbeat, strong, flickering on the screen. I cried. Happy tears. Relief tears. 7 years of pain melting into this moment, this tiny heartbeat, this proof that my body worked, that I wasn't broken, that David's lies didn't define my fertility. Graduate from the fertility clinic at week 10. Dr. Palmer hugged me. I'm so happy for you. Thank you for everything. You did this. Your strength, your perseverance. I almost gave up, but you didn't. That's what matters. Found an OB, Dr. Martinez, warm, experienced, respectful of single mothers. How are you feeling about doing this alone? She asked at the first appointment. Empowered. Good. You should. Parenting is hard, but you're clearly capable. I'm scared sometimes. That's normal. But fear doesn't mean you can't do it. No, it doesn't. The pregnancy progressed smoothly. Morning sickness weeks 6 through 12. Manageable with crackers and ginger ale. Fatigue, but nothing terrible. Week 16 anatomy scan showed everything developing perfectly. Want to know the sex? The technician asked. Yes, it's a boy, a son. I was having a son. Started shopping for baby things. Crib. Changing table. Clothes in tiny sizes. Each purchase felt surreal. After 7 years of empty shopping carts, of avoiding baby sections, now I was filling them for my baby, my son. Rachel threw a shower at week 30. Small gathering. Close friends. My mom flew in. We decorated in blue and white, played games, opened gifts. Everyone was genuinely happy. No pity, no awkwardness, just celebration. Have you picked a name? Rachel asked. Ethan James. I love it. Ethan means strong. I want him to be strong. He will be. Look at his mother. Labor started right on time. 39 weeks. Water broke at 3 a.m. Called Rachel. It's time. I'll be there in 15 minutes. She drove me to the hospital, stayed through everything, held my hand, encouraged me. You're doing amazing. It hurts. I know, but you've got this. Ethan was born at 11:47 a.m. 7 pounds, 3 ounces. Perfect. They placed him on my chest, skin to skin. He opened his eyes, looked at me, and I fell in love. Completely. Instantly. Irrevocably. Hi, Ethan, I whispered. I'm your mama. I've been waiting for you for a very long time. He made a tiny sound, nestled against me, and everything David took from me didn't matter anymore. Because I had this perfect moment, this perfect baby, this perfect love built on truth, not lies. Ethan is 6 months old now, thriving. Happy baby. Sleeps well, eats well, smiles constantly. My mom visits every month. Rachel comes twice a week. My sister FaceTimes regularly. We have a village, different from the traditional family structure, but full of love. Sometimes I wonder if David knows, if he's heard through mutual friends, that I had a baby, that I succeeded without him, that his lies didn't win. I hope he has. I hope it haunts him. Not because I'm vengeful, but because consequences matter, and he deserves to know what he lost. Not me. Not the marriage, but the possibility of fatherhood, the joy of holding your child, the love that transforms you. He chose a vasectomy over that, chose selfishness over partnership, chose lies over truth. And now he lives with that choice, while I live with mine. And mine is beautiful. If something feels wrong in your fertility journey, trust yourself. Visit www.theinfertilitysecrets.com to understand your cycle and demand full transparency. Don't waste years like I did. You deserve honesty. You deserve partnership. You deserve the truth. Looking back now, the signs were always there. I just didn't want to see them. The way David never got emotional about negative pregnancy tests. Most partners grieve together, share the disappointment. David would just shrug. We'll try again next month. No tears. No frustration. Just calm acceptance. I thought he was being strong for me. Now I know he was indifferent because he knew it would never work. The way he avoided baby-related conversations. Friends would announce pregnancies. I'd get excited. Talk about due dates, baby names, gender reveals. David would check his phone, change the subject, walk away. You're obsessing, he'd say. I'm just happy for them. It's making you sad. You should avoid it. He framed it as protecting me. Really, he was protecting himself from having to pretend, from maintaining the lie. The way he discouraged fertility treatments. Every time I suggested IUI or IVF, he'd hesitate. That's expensive. That's a lot of hormones. Let's try naturally a bit longer. I thought he was being financially responsible, concerned about my health. Really, he was stalling, hoping I'd give up before we spent money he knew was wasted. But I didn't give up. And he couldn't find a good reason to refuse, so he went along with it, pretending to hope, pretending to try, pretending to be disappointed, all while knowing the truth. The way he never researched fertility. I read books, articles, joined online forums, learned about AMH levels, follicle development, implantation windows. David never asked questions, never Googled anything, never participated in the learning process. You're the expert, he'd say. I thought he was trusting my judgment. Really, he just didn't care, because it didn't matter. No amount of research would overcome a vasectomy. The way he avoided my family. My mom would ask about baby plans. David would make excuses to leave the room. I need to check work emails. I should start dinner. I'm going to run to the store. Anything to avoid the conversation. I thought he was uncomfortable with the pressure. Now I know. He was avoiding accountability, avoiding lying to my family's faces. It was easier to lie to me because I wanted to believe him. The therapy sessions we never attended. After cycle 3 failed, I suggested couples counseling. Maybe we need help processing this. David agreed. We scheduled an appointment. The day of, he canceled. Work emergency. We rescheduled. He canceled again. Migraine. After the 3rd cancellation, I stopped trying. Maybe you should go alone, he said. Work through your feelings, making it my problem, my emotional instability, my need for support. When really, he couldn't risk a therapist asking questions, couldn't risk exposure, couldn't risk someone seeing through the lies. The way he sabotaged my hope. Little comments. Maybe we're not meant to be parents. Lots of people are childless and happy. We could travel more without kids, planting seeds of doubt, making me question my desire, framing childlessness as freedom, when really he was trying to manipulate me into giving up, into accepting his choice, without ever admitting he'd made it. I see it all clearly now. Every red flag I ignored, every inconsistency I explained away, every moment I chose trust over truth, because I loved him, because I wanted the marriage to work, because admitting he was lying meant admitting I'd wasted years. And I wasn't ready to face that until the receipt forced me to. The divorce changed me, not just emotionally, fundamentally. Who I was before David. Trusting, optimistic, willing to see the best in people. Who I am after. Cautious, realistic, questioning. I don't regret the change. Naivety isn't a virtue. It's a vulnerability people like David exploit. Now I trust, but verify. Love, but protect myself. Hope, but prepare for disappointment. It's not cynicism. It's wisdom, earned through pain. The single motherhood journey surprised me. I thought I'd struggle, miss having a partner, feel overwhelmed and alone. Instead, I felt free. No one questioning my parenting choices. No one undermining my decisions. No one making me doubt myself. Just me and Ethan, figuring it out together. Sure, it's hard. Night wakings are brutal. Teething is awful. Daycare germs are constant. But it's honest hard. Not complicated hard. Not, is my partner lying hard. Just regular parenting hard. And I can handle that. My support system expanded. Other single moms. Met them at library storytime, park playdates, mommy and me classes. Women who got it, who didn't judge, who offered help without pity. Want me to watch Ethan while you shower? I'm making dinner, bringing you some. Having a hard day? Come over. Community built on mutual understanding, on shared experience, on genuine support. Better than the isolation I felt in my marriage. Pretending everything was fine, hiding my struggles, shouldering everything alone anyway. Now, I'm alone by choice, but not actually alone. Surrounded by people who care, who show up, who tell the truth. Financial independence matters. The alimony helps. But I'm working full-time, advancing my career, building my own security, not dependent on anyone, not vulnerable to someone else's choices. My money, my house, my decisions. David's name isn't on anything. Can't touch my life anymore. Can't impact my future. That power feels good. Ethan started daycare at 4 months. I cried the first day, not because I was sad, because I was proud. Proud I could afford good childcare. Proud I'd built a stable life. Proud I was showing my son that mothers work, that women are capable. That family looks different for everyone. The daycare teachers love him. He's such a happy baby, always smiling, so curious about everything. That makes me proud too. Despite everything, despite the lies, despite the divorce, despite doing this alone, Ethan is thriving, secure, loved, happy. Proof that children need love, not a traditional structure. People ask about his father. What does Ethan's dad do? I used to stumble, make excuses. Now I'm direct. Ethan was conceived via sperm donor. I'm a single mother by choice. Most people are supportive. That's amazing. Good for you. He's lucky to have such a strong mom. Some people are awkward, but don't you worry about I cut them off. No, I don't, because I don't. Ethan has everything he needs. Love, security, opportunity, a mother who chose him, who fought for him, who will never lie to him. That's more than many kids get from traditional families. More than I got from my marriage. I'm teaching Ethan honesty, age-appropriate honesty. When he's older, I'll tell him about his donor, about my choice to become a mother, about the strength it took. But I won't lie. Won't pretend he has a father somewhere. Won't create false narratives. He deserves truth, always. Even when it's hard. My relationship with my mom improved. She was skeptical at first about single motherhood, about donor conception, about my choices. But seeing me with Ethan changed her mind. You're a wonderful mother. Thank you. I'm sorry I doubted you. I understand why you did. No, you knew what you needed. I should have trusted that. We're closer now. She visits monthly. Helps with Ethan, gives me breaks, respects my decisions. It's the relationship I always wanted, based on mutual respect, not obligation or judgment. My sister had a baby last year, my niece. Watching our kids play together is beautiful. Cousins, growing up together. No weirdness about different family structures, just 2 kids who love each other. That's what family should be. Love without conditions, support without judgment, presence without demands. Dating hasn't been a priority. People ask, are you seeing anyone? No. Don't you want to? Eventually. Maybe. Right now, Ethan is enough. And he is. I'm not opposed to partnership, but I'm not desperate for it either. If it happens, great. If not, I'm complete. That's new. Before David, I felt incomplete alone, needed validation from a partner, needed someone to make me whole. Now I know that's not how it works. You complete yourself. Partners enhance. They don't define. And if someone can't enhance my life, can't add value, can't be honest, I don't need them. I'd rather be alone. Ethan's first birthday was emotional. 1 year of motherhood, 1 year of joy, 1 year of proving David wrong. We had a small party, close friends, family. Cake, balloons. Ethan smashed a cupcake, got frosting everywhere, laughed. I took 1,000,000 pictures, captured every moment. This milestone, this proof, this victory. Afterward, Rachel and I sat on the porch, watching Ethan play. You did it, she said. Did what? Everything. Survived the betrayal, got divorced, had a baby, built a life. I had help. You had determination. The help just supported it. I couldn't have done it without you. Yes, you could have. You're stronger than you know. Maybe I am. I don't feel strong. I feel tired, grateful, present. But maybe that's what strength looks like. Not superhuman endurance. Just showing up every day for yourself, for your child, for your life. The vasectomy receipt is still in my filing cabinet. I thought about throwing it away, burning it, destroying the evidence, but I kept it, not to torture myself, but to remember what I survived, what I learned, what I won't tolerate again. It's a reminder. Trust is earned, Truth matters. Actions reveal character. Words can lie. Paperwork doesn't. Sometimes I wonder what David's life looks like now. If he's dating, if he's told new partners about the vasectomy, if he's learned anything, or if he's repeating the pattern, finding another woman who wants kids, lying again, wasting more years. I hope not. Not for his sake, for hers. Whoever she is, she deserves better. Everyone does. But I can't save other women from David. I can only share my story, warn them, tell the truth, and hope they listen. The online fertility community has been powerful. I joined forums after Ethan was born, shared my story. Hundreds of women responded. This happened to me, too. My husband lied about his vasectomy. I wasted years on a partner who didn't want kids. It's more common than anyone talks about. Reproductive coercion, fertility fraud, partners sabotaging conception. Some do it maliciously. Others, like David, do it cowardly. But the impact is the same. Wasted years, wasted money, wasted hope. Women deserve better, deserve honesty, deserve partners who respect their reproductive choices. That's why I tell my story. Not for sympathy, for awareness, for prevention, for other women to know. Demand full transparency. Demand both partners get tested. Demand to see results yourself. Don't take anyone's word. Trust, but verify. Always. Ethan is 15 months now, walking, starting to talk, saying mama constantly. Every time I hear it, my heart swells. This is what I fought for. This voice, this person, this love. Not a marriage built on lies. Not a partnership with someone who didn't want the same future. This, my son, my life, my truth. And it's worth everything. Every dollar spent on IVF, every hour in therapy, every tear cried, every moment of doubt. Worth it. Because Ethan is here, and he's mine. And that's everything. The second year of motherhood brought new challenges. Toddler tantrums, sleep regressions, picky eating, boundary testing, but also new joys. First words beyond mama, ball, dog, more. Each one a miracle, proof of development, of growth, of my child becoming his own person. Ethan's personality emerged. Curious, stubborn, affectionate. He hugs tight, kisses freely, shares his toys. The best parts of me, none of David. Because David contributed nothing. Not genetics, not time, not love, just lies. And those don't pass down. I've started dating casually, nothing serious. Just coffee dates, dinners, testing the waters. Some men are great with the single mom thing. That's admirable. Your son is lucky. Others aren't. Do you have time to date? Isn't that complicated? What about his father? I've learned to screen quickly. Ask direct questions. Do you want kids? Have you been honest in past relationships? What do you think about single motherhood? Their answers tell me everything. No more wasting time on men who aren't fully honest. No more giving benefit of the doubt. No more ignoring red flags. I'm too old for that now. Too wise. Too protective of Ethan and myself. Rachel got engaged last month to a wonderful man who loves her completely, supports her dreams, tells the truth. I'm her maid of honor. Helping plan the wedding, watching her build a healthy partnership makes me happy. Also makes me reflect on what I wanted with David, what I thought we had, what was actually there. The contrast is stark. Rachel's fiance shows up, communicates, makes joint decisions, respects boundaries. David did none of that. And I accepted it because I didn't know better, didn't demand better, didn't believe I deserved better. Now I do. And if partnership comes again, it will be on my terms. Full honesty, equal partnership, mutual respect, or nothing at all. Ethan started talking about his donor recently. Not in those words, but curious. Where's my daddy? Age-appropriate answer. Some families have a mommy and a daddy. Some have two mommies or two daddies. Some, like ours, just have a mommy. But you were made with love and wanted very much. Okay, he accepted it. Moved on. Asked about snacks. Kids are resilient, don't need traditional structures, just need love. Stability. Truth. I'll tell him more as he gets older. About donor conception. About my choice. About David's lies. Age appropriately. Honestly. But he's too young for details now. For now, he just needs to know he's loved. And he is. Completely. My career advanced. Promotion to senior designer. 20% raise. More responsibility. More flexibility. can work from home twice a week, be present for Ethan, still advance professionally. That balance matters. Being a mother doesn't mean sacrificing career. It means being strategic, setting boundaries, demanding flexibility, things I couldn't do with David because I was too busy managing his lies, managing my disappointment, managing a failing marriage. Now I manage my life successfully. My finances are stable. Savings account growing. College fund for Ethan started. Emergency fund fully funded. No debt except mortgage, which I'm paying down aggressively. Independence feels powerful. No one can take this from me. No one controls my security. My life is mine completely. For the first time ever. The fertility clinic called last month. Your remaining embryos are still in storage. What would you like to do with them? 8 embryos, frozen, waiting. Ethan's potential siblings. I thought about it for weeks. Did I want more children? Could I handle 2 as a single mom? Was I being greedy? Finally decided, yes, not now. But eventually, when Ethan is in school, when finances are even more stable, when I'm ready, I'll use another embryo. Give Ethan a sibling. Give myself another child on my terms. My timeline, my choice. Dr. Palmer was supportive. Whenever you're ready, we're here. Thank you for everything. You've come so far. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of me too. And I am. For surviving, for rebuilding, for thriving. If your partner resists fertility testing, demand to know why. Visit www.theinfertilitysecrets.com to understand your cycle and protect yourself. Don't spend years like I did, trusting blindly. Verify everything. Demand honesty. You deserve the truth. I rebuilt my life from David's lies, and it's more beautiful than I ever imagined.